Hi guys, Martin here. A huge thank you to every single one of our monthly supporters. Without your support, we can't do what we do on a weekly basis. Not yet a supporter? Why not? Please consider supporting us monthly. Anything you give, from £1 upwards, anything at all, is greatly appreciated and helps grow the platform. We've come so far in a year, let's go even further in the next. Thank you. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Matchday Ticket Live. I'm your host, Martin the Governor Lambert. Pints and points are incoming, my friends. I promised you as such on Easter Friday, and it come true. They did their part for 25 minutes, but luckily Bristol Rovers couldn't muster any type of real comeback. Can we do it again? Rochdale are... they've only won one game at home all season. So are they overdue, or can Town put them away and really build on what would be a really good Easter weekend? They say the Easter weekend and the Christmas period are the two most important times of a campaign. Now, Christmas won't ruin your season, but obviously Easter could. But a win here today, and suddenly MK Dons, as Cookie himself said after Bristol Rovers, looks rather interesting, and it truly does. I thank you all for joining me. I can see the chat is absolutely flying off the handle. Dan Whitty, the Barnsley fan in the house. Dan, good luck this afternoon for Barnsley. Joe can't go to work because his car won't start. He's watching Matchday Ticket. Send the Guv said so. Josh Russell's gone 3 points. Harry Butcher, man, myth, legend. Daniel Barnard, the guy who comes so close to winning an I follow pass and then never does. But one day, Dan, one day. Andrew, Facebook user, hi Guv. Good afternoon, my friends. So I'm joined by two wonderful people. They are making their Matchday Ticket debuts. So be gentle, be kind. I will first bring in the man who designs everything you see. It's spot on. It's so good. I could try and get a job in a decent firm, but you don't want it, apparently. It's none other than George, the artist, Nunn. Nunn, I stitched you. I stitched you up. Don't worry, they're Norwich fans. They don't watch. It's fine. How are we?
Yeah, right.
Very well. How are you feeling ahead of your first Matchday Ticket?
I mean, I've done one now, haven't I? So I feel all right.
Yeah, this is it. It's a big one today as well, because I described in my article for Something News, this is like the home stretch of a race, and we don't want to start spluttering on the soft ground, do we? Town need to start coming up that outside row and gaining ground.
Yeah, for sure. I've said before on the chat, and I've said before to you guys, I have few expectations for the remainder of the season. But yeah, it would be nice to see a little bit more passion from them over the next few weeks, and start making me think that some of them are worth keeping on for a little bit longer. But if we can build on, well, I don't know, was there much to build on Friday? I didn't watch it, so.
Well, not really. First 25 there was, and then after that it was kind of batten down the hatches, hope and pray. Cruncher says the Guv has a bigger squad than Cookie. Selection No. We keep it fresh at the Talking Town Towers. New voices, fresh voices. Not the same opinion every time. We love it. Stephen Ward at left wing back says Flatty, mother of God. Russell Claydon, Rochdale. Not sure Ward and Edwards are really the players for the wing back system. Wayne Till. Rochdale is the 3-3 expert, so this will be a 90-minute on the edge of your seat game. This will win 3 or 4-0. I predict 2-1. Bishop and Parrott need to win, and no egg on faces this Easter. Did you get many Easter eggs, Nanny?
No, I didn't get any. I don't think you get them once you get over 40.
You're supposed to buy them yourself. No, you wake up and expecting them to arrive in your front room. I bought myself a few.
I bought one for the little man, but he took it to his mum, so I didn't get any of that. He was hiding it from me.
That's disgraceful. That is shocking. we need to re-educate. I got a lovely Twix one. I love Twixes, and I've got a great big. I didn't buy it myself. Someone bought it for me, but it was great. Colin Plum, hopefully be on after the game. Love his opinions. Hope everyone has a lovely Easter. Be even better with 3 points. Right, we are joined by our third member, a debut on the Matchday Ticket as a contributor, but not as a fan. He's been on many, many times. He's of course the man who every single time makes me crave a kebab on a Saturday night. It is our main man, the Kebab King, Tom James. Tom, how you doing?
Afternoon, we all right?
Very well. Did you have your kebab this weekend?
I didn't have a kebab. I had a birthday Chinese instead. Just as good.
Don't go. No, because this is bad. Because whenever you say what you've had, I always then think, oh, that would be quite nice. What do you have from the Chinese when you have one?
Oh, sweet and sour pork, egg fried rice. The lot, really. I mean, there weren't any kebabs, but it was just as good.
Love it. I love it. And you messaged me just as the intro was going on saying that hot dog van looked nice. And I tell you what, it was lovely. It's not the usual guy down by the Churchman's. I'm showing my age there with that name. But it was all right. I'm the same. I'm missing the Matchday grub. Is anyone here missing the Matchday grub? Because it's that smell of the onions. It's the taste of the, let's be face it, cheap roll. Anyone missing the Matchday grub?
I don't think my toilet the following morning is.
Jesus Christ, Tom. That's a bit early for a 2:30 show. Nunny, you missing Matchday grub?
My Matchday grub whenever I come is lunch in the Greyhound, so it's a little bit more upmarket than what we get around the ground.
We don't mention Grahams around here. Adam Flat, not the stuff they sell at Portman Road. Mr. Pie is ITFC Tweedy. We've got Cruncher who says, anyone hasn't subscribed yet, hit that button. We're looking at 2,500 by the end of May. Rax Max, have no doubt in my mind, Town will huff and puff, achieve naffle with 65% possession, 4 shots on target, and lose 1-0. Well, let's look at our Matchday team for today, shall we? It is, of course, Thomas Holy in goal. I say, of course, because they won't drop him for some reason. And then a back five. Now, I think on Friday, Chambers actually played the left-hand side role and Wolfie the right-hand side, but that could change today. When you look at that back five, first of all, Nunny, what stands out to you? What's the elephant in the room?
Well, it's Ward, isn't it? Particularly because Kenlock's on the bench, which, I can only assume he's not quite fit enough, but I can't imagine that Ward is any fitter. But yeah, I'd like to see Kenlock. If we're going to play that system, I'd rather see Kenlock on the left. Edwards, I agree that there's a question mark around whether he can play the wing-back role, but not sure who else apart from maybe Matheson. And we're clearly feels like trying to avoid playing Matheson. Well,
he's injured apparently, but nobody can tell me what, how, or why. But Tom, he's Stephen Ward at left wing back. I mean, Rochdale have, like I've said, won one game at home all season. Surely this is the game where you can kind of be a bit cavalier with your wing backs, can't you? You can just tell them to go and push on and play high up the field. Ward won't do that.
No, we won't do that. But I think of all the teams we want to play with this lineup, it's probably Rochdale, isn't it? Like you said, 1 win at home. Not overly concerned by it, but that'll probably come back to bite me in the backside at half-time onwards.
Well, you say that, but yes, in a way, you've got to readjust your goals, which is Town, 3rd tier. But in another way, you've got to maintain that standard. I mean, you're Ipswich Town playing Rochdale. This should be a cup game, not a league game. You need to go in there and show why it should be a cup game, not a league game, right? You need to keep your standard high.
Yeah, we need to. It's just whether the players are up to it or if they care enough. But did we think they cared enough on Friday, despite us winning? I'm still not sure about that. Yeah, it's not exciting, and hopefully we're going to see if any of them are up for the fight. We're somehow 4 points off 4th place, despite being atrocious.
Madness.
So anything can happen.
Yeah, as Mick would say, Nunny, bonkers. But when you look at the team and you look at they are playing for a contract. Would you've mentioned Kenlock, maybe you could have even brought in a proper winger, because isn't this the time where you can go and impose your will away from home? There's some away games where you can't. Peterborough springs to mind. But there's some games like today where really you should be going and imposing your will.
Yeah, but I feel like this is becoming my mantra, but Cook's on a hiding to nothing, isn't he? Like he could do that. But the problem is that if he did that and it didn't work, then we'd be on his back for something else. I mean, wingers, who would you put in there? Like who plays in that system better than?
Well,
that hasn't already had the chance. I think that's the issue. Is at the moment we're playing a formation that we haven't played all season. Is as good a chance as any of working, hasn't it? But doesn't sound like it was great on Friday afternoon, but we'll see if it works this afternoon.
Are you impressed with Cookie and his flexibility? We've had managers in the past, Mick McCarthy, Paul Lambert, others as well, but they're rigid. Their philosophy is their philosophy, their style is their style, hell or high water. Are you both, and I'll go to Nunny first, are you both impressed with the fact that Cooks just said, look, I've got to get something out of these ingredients, I don't care what it is?
Well, he has, and I am. He obviously came in and has for years, as far as I can tell, said this is the formation that I play. This is how my teams play. I think I said on the first show that I did briefly that's fine, but he either needs to fit the team to the formation or the formation to the team, and I think he'd rather play the formation that he wants to play. But I like the fact that he isn't so belligerent that he just sort of said, no, this is the formation that I play. It's not my fault that we don't have the team that can play that formation. He is actually saying that, okay, fine, this is what we're going to play. From next year, I would absolutely expect us to play that formation that he wants to with the however many players that he brings in. But yeah, I like that he's adaptable enough as a leader and as a coach to acknowledge that he doesn't have the pieces to fit together for the puzzle that he wants at the moment.
Tom?
Yeah, I think the only criticism I could have of him really is he didn't do it a few games sooner. I think he came in, he said this is my style. It probably took a bit too long to realise that the players didn't fit it. He probably should have, I don't know, just realised what their strengths are straight away. And we've had a few losses and draws along the way that probably could have been wins, scrappy wins, if he'd maybe just done the formation that he's got with the players. Was the 4-2-3-1 doesn't suit our players at the minute, but
not at the minute.
Yeah,
because he's going to have a blank bit of paper to work with. ITFC Durham, we played 3 at the back. I believe Chambers taking more of a centre back role. Adam Flatt, Cook is playing ready, steady Cook on boss level. When you open the fridge and you've got a bottle of Lucasade, a tin of Spam, and some squirty cream. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Michael Finch, I think Cook knows you've got a little chance of going up this season, so he's picking a team that hopefully can do a job until the season ends. Well, I think he'd disagree with that openly. Privately, I don't know what he'd say. But looking at the midfield 3 now, if you've got a back 5 away at Rochdale, Tom, surely you can say to Andre, say to Teddy, go and play in the lines between Rochdale's midfield and defence. Go and play higher up the field.
Yeah, definitely. And we need that from the pair of them today. We need some energy. Judge, he'll work hard, but he won't give us that energy really that we need going forward to support the top 2. We're doing all right for pace. I think with Jackson and Parrott can hold it up as well. But yeah, they've really got to step up if they want to stay in this team next season, because I don't think they're doing it at the minute.
No. Andre is a player that people have often said, George, play him higher up the field, play him up the field. But managers have always, even from McCarthy onwards, have played him in that deep lying playmaker role. Do you want to go and see him higher up the field today?
I'd like to. Yeah, somebody needs to. I think we still haven't quite found the right spot for Andre. I'm probably willing to give him more of a chance than some are moving forward. Mm-hmm. But I think, I still think he could be a really important part of the team moving forward. And if that is him slightly further forward, then great. But I think he just needs to be more positive. He came out the other day, didn't he, and said that he needs to have more goals. I'd rather he just adds more positivity to his play. The goals, if they come, then great. But somebody needs to give assists to the likes of Parrott and Jackson and Norwood, and we know they can finish.
Yeah, 100%. Andre is a player that sort of aggravates me a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I want to see progression from him, and I've not seen that from August to now. But he's got this next run of games, the last end of the season. If he can put together something, then I can certainly see him starting next year. But I want to see progression, Tom. Have you seen progression from the Andre that came out on the first game of the season to the Andre we're going to see, or you expect to see today?
I think I've seen enough overall, but I also think we don't know his best position, but we haven't given him the best partner yet. He needs a proper partner to play alongside of him. I don't think Bishop is that. He needs, we need one of these probably latter year shithouse midfielders who will do all the scruffy work, win the dirty fouls, and let Andre just play. Because I don't think we've got that. He's probably suffering in that deep lying midfielder role because he's not confident to do the dirty work yet. And I think we need some support before we see the best of him maybe next season. Yeah,
absolutely. Talking about the best of him next season, a player who may not be here, may be here, Jackson. How important is it, Nunny, that he turns up today? And not just in body, but in absolute everything. And he is one of the players that needs to leave it all on the next 9 games on the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think from all of the players that I saw any criticism of or feedback about from Friday, Jackson was the one that people seem to be most disappointed in terms of his output. And that's something that I haven't quite understood from a lot of the team is why they're not putting in slightly more of a shift. So I think it goes for a lot of them, but Jackson particularly, you're right. If he needs to do something to warrant if he wants one, he needs to do something to warrant sticking around or being given.
Whether he wants it here or not, Tom, Huddersfield were sniffing around. They're not going to be sniffing around in this summer because he's not progressed the way they perhaps would have wanted him to, or I would expect them not to be anyway. I'll just clarify that. It's important for Jackson's future either here or elsewhere, isn't it? He stands up now and leaves it all on the field.
It should be important for him, but I want him gone. Just get him out the building, because I think it summed it up when we played Gillingham and you saw Cook's first game. He turned around to the bench and was explaining what was going on the pitch. And Jackson just turned around and just smirked. He looked very uninterested. I don't think he cares about the club or anything to do with it. So I think he just needs to go. Probably Peterborough should be paying us a bit of money to get him, and he'll suit a team like that better than us, I think.
I'd like to. Joe, I'd give another year. He's got an option for a year. I'd activate it because there is a player in there somewhere. None. He's got 15 goals, I think, according to Wikipedia. Anyway, in 87 games, that's a decent return. There's a player in there.
There is, but I think TJ's right. I think if he doesn't want to be here, and I'd throw Downs into this pot as well. That after last summer, if he doesn't want to be here, then we're better off offloading him. And I think that will be Cook's approach as well, to be honest. But if he doesn't want to stick around and has no interest in trying to help us get up next season, if the damage has been done, which part of me wouldn't blame him after the season he's had, then maybe a fresh start is the best thing for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Paris is not in 4-2-3-1. Rax Max. Andre is just living on his dad's name. Sweepstakes says 57 back passes today. Seems a little low. Roll on some. I believe Cook will seems a little low. Roll on Summer, I believe, could be ruthless to ship out half this dross. Jackson's pants, no form. Fair, yeah. ITFC Tweedy, we stole Jackson off Peterborough. Yeah, trust us to steal the only striker off Peterborough that isn't going to progress into an Ivan Toney. I mean, just fucking typical Ipswich.
But he might have done at Peterborough.
Yeah, he probably would have done. Wayne Till, Jackson should have left. No interest here. We've got to get players who want to wear the shirt. Now, a conversation that was taken up some of yesterday's podcast was obviously Noor was injured again. Who was going to partner Jackson if a striker was going to today? It was Drinnan or Parrott. Nunny, are you happy he's gone with Parrott, or would you have gone for the Irish Messi?
Yeah, I'm absolutely happy he's gone with Parrott. I expect we'll see Drinnan and or Hawkins, but I think he's made the right choice there. Parrott looks more likely to score for me when I've seen him play. So yeah, it's no brainer for me.
Same for you, Tom?
Yeah, I see Parrott as a younger version of Norwood. He just needs a bit more streetwise, a bit more experience around him. But I can see that hold-up play, and I think he'd be useful on loan again next season if we go down that route.
Yeah, I wasn't overly keen on the Jackson deal. Sorry, the Parrott deal when it happened, but he's won me over. I mean, when you say about players who want to play for the shirt, as you've seen in the chat there, you can't ever say Parrott never leaves it all on the pitch, can you, Nunny? He's 100% full-blooded striker, and I like that. I think fans warm to that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And that's one of the things I've been most frustrated by this season and last is just we haven't had that passion. I haven't felt it. I don't feel it. I said to you the other day, I think on WhatsApp, I don't feel it from Chambers anymore, if I'm brutally honest. Which I have the biggest issue with, purely because he's our captain, and he used to be able to say that about him. He left everything out on the pitch, and there's just something that I feel like he's lost recently, and I think that's just happened then throughout the. And I'm not saying it's his responsibility, but as the captain, I don't think it helps that it then starts to perpetuate through the rest of the team.
No, Tom, we're going to be using a Windows 95 system next year for our player recruitment. But if Parrott did fall into that, and we were able to keep him, what would you say? Because often a question in the chat is, how do we play, or describe this, or describe that? So, what would you describe Troy Parrott as? What would you list him to be? What excites you about him? What makes you want to keep him for next year?
I think he's a Parrott of all trades and a master of none at the minute. I think he can obviously hold up. He can hold up the ball okay. He's quite quick for his size, I think, and I think he still needs to find out what he's good at. I think, and we're kind of putting him in different positions. We're putting him behind the central striker, or we're putting him as a central striker, and I still think we don't know, but I think there's enough there that we've seen that he can probably develop in one of those areas. I'd probably put him up top personally, but only probably as behind somebody we invested money in and is going to be with us longer term.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Parry, Nunny, he works hard. That's about it. Is that fair, or is that a bit of a unfair?
I think that's harsh. I think he's how old is he? 18.
He's young. Yeah.
He's not we couldn't expect him to be the finished article, but I think he's shown enough about him that he probably, as I say, fits in the team ahead of Drinnan, who's got a few years on him, and he feels like he's more likely to have that kind of standout game than everybody seems surprised when Drinnan puts in a half decent performance. Whereas I think when Parrott does it, people will be expecting it. I'm waiting for it to happen. To be honest with you, this would be famous last words, but it wouldn't surprise me if him and Jackson play pretty well together. But that will need Jackson to improve his output rather than Parrott, I think.
Absolutely. Julian, this is the Julian that's kindly donated some money on the Ko-Fi. Thank you ever so much, Julian. We truly appreciate it. Parrott reminds him of the Freddie Seagood a few years ago. Puts all the effort in, links up well, drops back to aid the midfield. Lee Anderson, he holds the ball, has a pass, just needs to build his physically. Yeah, and at 19, that will develop, as he grows into a man. Cruncher likes his strikers to score goals. But in 4-2-3-1, I don't know if that's a necessary item. Your midfielders are your goal scorers predominantly in a 4-2-3-1. Your one is a Daryl Murphy type, strong, physical, mobile, holds it up, occupies two centre-halves. I don't think Drennan can do that. And I don't think Jackson can do that, certainly. Wayne Till. We need a striker that scores goals, scores 10 or 15 at least every season. That will get us promoted. We'll go a long way, that's for sure. That's for sure. Looking at the bench, as we approach our bold predictions in just a few minutes, we were talking off air before we started. I'll say it. It's a crap bench. I'll say it for all three of us. Don't worry. What if it's 0-0? If it's 1-0 down? If it's 1-1? If it's a 65th minute? Who are you looking at to potentially change that game, Tom?
You really have to ask me that question with this bench. Dobra, we'll go Dobra. Probably being biased because he's our player. I want to see him in over Harrop. Yeah, he's probably the only one. I don't know what Hawkins is like. Maybe he's done something in training and he's gotten better than when he was last here. So I'd probably see Hawkins over Drennan based on what we've seen of Drennan. So,
Nunny, what would you do to change the game if you had to with that bench?
Yeah, well, Dobra. I mean, if everyone else is doing all right and it just seems like we're struggling going forward, then Dobra is the option. For me, I think he's the one that will make something happen in midfield. If anyone's going to, I suspect the first change we might see is cannot for Ward. If I'm being brutally honest, but yeah, depends how it's going. But Dobra is the one that I'd bring on in that situation.
Okay. Legend that is Irv. Our players are too lazy. Could be working them hard during the summer to get them match fit. Until then, we've got a very poor squad. Chambers has been captain of a lightweight squad. I blame him. Big words, Irv. I might pick that up at the full-time show because that's certainly big words. Dobra, for me, guys, I don't know what you see him. I'm going to be honest. Every time I see the guy, I want to throw him some armbands because I feel sorry for him. I think he drowns. He's not quite ready for this level of competitive football. A loan spell would have done him good. Josh Harrop intrigues me. I felt we've not quite seen the best of Harrop. And there's something there that could... I think I'd play him. I personally would give him a run of games over Andre Dezelle because I think he can pick a pass the way fans believe Andre can. But I just think it's something, a little bit more further on his journey of being a pro footballer. But we've not seen it, have we? I think it's fair to say we've not seen Harrop at all in this loan spell. No,
and for me, putting Dobra on is the equivalent right now of that loan spell that you're saying that he needs. But chuck him on in League One. We're not going to get promoted, right? If we do, then great. But now's as good a time as any to use him. If he can get 10 games, partial games in between now and the end of the season, get some of that experience, and then in the summer, if we can try and slot him into that formation that Cook wants to play, either as a first change or even as a starter if he's getting to that point, then I think it's been worth it. So I'd certainly throw him on ahead of Harrop purely because Harrop will be gone.
Okay, yeah, right. Go on quickly. Sorry.
I was going to say, Dobra's not ready. I agree with you there, but I would rather see him because he's our player and there might be something in time.
Fair point. Right, 2 minutes too. So chat, get those bold predictions in now. Get them in. Who wants to kick us off with their bold prediction? This is it. This is the moment. Hold your opinions to the mast and go forward with them. Who's going first? Nunny.
I'll go 2-1 Town.
All right,
2-1 Town. Is that a bold prediction, Tom? 2-1.
Well, our defence is much better than theirs, and their defence is horrendous. So, if you want bold, we're scoring 2 goals. Happy Easter.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Nunny?
Something's telling me 2-0. That feels like it is bold. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to regret it at half time, I know, but let's go 2-0 Town.
Yeah, okay. Lee Anderson 2-1 Town. Cruncher 1-1. David King 2-1. Ryan's gone 3-1. Paul's gone 3-1. Stuart's gone for a 1-1 draw. Stuart, I don't think that would help either team, but it very well could happen. OJW 4-0 Town. 2-1. 4-1 draw. 3-3. I'm going to go, do you know what? Both teams, well, Rochdale like to score goals and Town can't score goals. So it's either going to be a 0-0 or it's going to be a 4-3, 5-4 sort of situation. Either way, I hope it's pints and points incoming. We're back at half time. Join us then, and then at full time where you guys can have your say alongside these wonderful people. But the players are out. Hopefully the points are coming with us. Nunny, TJ, chat. I will see you all at half time. Come on, you Blues.